Welcome to today's DNA. We will be covering 5 articles. First 4 articles are related to the prelims and 5th article is related to the mains. So, first article lies with the Swachh Survekshan 2025. Second is Akash missile testing. Third is Automobile Mission Plan 2047 and fourth is Urja Vrat 2025. Now, the 5th article related to mains will be the Exom 4 mission and its impact on Indian space research. Thank you. First article is related to Swachh Survekshan Survey 2020-25, right? So, it is 9th Swachh Survekshan which was started in 2016, right? So, let us scan through what was the important. So, this is for the first time that Ahmedabad was declared cleanest city among the cities with a population over 10 lakhs. So, it is new update since it is the Indore which used to lead the this entire Swachh Survekshan. Now it is the Ahmedabad who is leading this entire thing. So this Swachh Survekshan is conducted annually under the Swachh Bharat Mission Urban by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, that is Housing Urban Affair, right? So it was launched in 2016. We have already discussed it. So what are the new features of this survey? So there is a revamped format A. Then there is a entry of super Swachh League cities. A city like Indore which constantly performed better has been granted super Swachh League city in order to promote competitive fairness among the other cities as well, right? That is the purpose. Now key winners and special awards. So top 3 clean cities in population less than 10 lakhs are Ahmedabad, Bhopal, Lucknow, right? So Bhopal backed 2nd position and Lucknow, the capital of UP, backed 3rd post, right? Now super Swachh League city top performer over 3 years are Indore, Navi Mumbai and Surat. So they have given the legendary status. Prayagraj was recognized as the cleanest Ganga river city under Namami Gange project of the Swachh Bharat as well, right? And Sikandrabad cantonment was declared as the cleanest Kent area in this survekshan, right? Also there is a Safai Mitra Surakshit Sekhar award. So these cities including manual sequencing elimination, safety of sanitation working and maintenance cleaning are Visakhapatnam, Jabalpur and Gorakhpur, right? And Swachh Mahakumbh was organized because of, we know, there was a clean, almost clean Mahakumbh this year, right? Rest of the things are not that important. Let us suppose there is a promotion of reduce, reuse and recycle 3-year cycle in this entire mission. So that is important. Now you can give the answer to this question that who conducts the Swachh Survekshan Survey and the Swachh Bharat Mission Urban, right? So you can give the answer, right? So second news is related to the missile test of 3 missiles, Akash Prime, Agni and Prithvi. So we did back-to-back test of these missiles, which is very important to understand. Let us try to understand what is the importance of all these missiles, right? So basically Akash Prime missile, which is a upgraded version of Akash weapon, was tested for the high altitude region. So recently our CDS sir says that we are fighting not only 2 front war, that is with the Pakistan and China, but also a third country is involved, that is Turkey, right? So in order to cater the defense issues vis-a-vis China, I believe this trial has been done because it is done in the high altitude region, that is Ladakh, right? So purpose is strengthen India's air defense capability because we know that Akash is a SAM, surface to air missile, right? And the testing was done above 15,000 feet, so very high altitude, right? So let us try to understand who developed Akash. So Akash was developed by DRDO. So if you have to give the salient achievement of the DRDO, you can give the Akash because it performed very well during the recent conflict with the Pakistan, that is during the Operation Sindhu, right? After that few feedback has been received by the different forces, how we can make it more better, more efficient. So accordingly this is done by the Army Defense Corps and DRDO scientists, right? So what is new in it? So what we have done, we have added indigenous active radio frequency seeker in it, which will improve the target lock accuracy of Akash, right? So the lock range has been improved and the range is more or less similar, that is a 27 to 30 kilometers, and if you talk about the altitudinal range, it is like of 18 kilometer, right? So and it is tested in the cold weathers, as well as it was used during the ultra low temperature conditions as well, and it was quite successful as well. Recently we have integrated it with the Rajendra radar, which is also capable kind of the radar, very capable, and it's very indigenous to it. That makes Akash more accurate as well as lethal for the enemy or adversaries, right? And this is basically for the first time used in 1980s, right? And we have completed the early trials in 2000s of the Akash, right? And Akash is being used by our armed forces, and it is quite capable as well, right? This is all about the Akash, and we should know that Akash is also one of the missiles that multiple countries are interested to import, right? We will discuss this as well. Along with the Akash Prime, we have also test fired Prithvi 2 and Agni 1 ballistic missiles. So from the Chandipur, that is the Odisha. So these are tested by the Strategic Force Command, right, which is basically designed for the nuclear warfare. So these are only regular tests, just to test the capability of these missiles, right? And both are nuclear capable, as well as they can carry conventional warhead, as well as obviously nuclear types, right? And they can carry like 5,000 to 1,000 kilograms warhead with them, and they are powered by twin liquid fuel engines, right? Initially there was solid fuels as well, but now it has been replaced with a twin liquid fuel range, right? With has a range of more than 350 kilometers when I am talking to Prithvi, right? And these are done with the help of IGMDP, which is developing Prithvi 6, Akash, Nag, Trishul, as well as Agni missiles, right? So these are the important milestone of DRDO that you can use. Second is the Agni first missile or Agni 1 missile, right? Its development began in 1999. On first testful trial was done in 2003, right? Again, it was used by the whom? Strategic Force Command, right? SFS. Now it is deployed by the Indian Army in 2007, which is also a nuclear capable ballistic missile, right? We know the ballistic missile, first it go to the atmosphere, then it enter to the atmosphere, and they are quite lethal, and they are quite hard to intercept as well for that purposes, right? And just we have discussed that few countries are quite interested in buying Akash missile. These are Vietnam, Philippines, Armenia, right? And we have already they have already purchased that. Armenia have already purchased the Pinaka missile system, that is the multi-barrel missile is there. Indonesia, UN, Bahrain and Egypt have also shown interest in our missiles, right? Recently Brazil was seeking quite interested in the Akash, but later on they have shifted to the Italy's missile, right? So these are the updates. What about the Strategic Force Command, which is a tri-service military command established in 2003 to manage and operationally control India's nuclear weapon arsenal. It is responsible for the deployment, readiness and use of strategic, means nuclear delivery system. There are two types of the nuclear weapon. One is the strategic, one is the tactical. Tactical is of the low yield, strategic is of the high yield, right? So what is the now, why it is always tested from the integrated test in Chandipur? So first is the strategic coastal location, which is nearby the Bay of Bengal. So there is a large area related to it. Second is the dual launch capability lies with the Chandipur. Third is the robust infrastructure lies with the Chandipur, and there are versatile testing range available at the Chandipur at the range of 200 kilometers, right? And it also is capable of doing the core research and development facility of the DRDO. Now we have heard about one term that we call multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle. It was quite in news recently. So basically what happens in MIRV, one ballistic missile will go like this, then they will split into small warhead, and which is very lethal, and they are very basically accurate as well to basically neutralize the enemy targets. And India is one of the few countries which capable to master this MIRV technology. So these are the update related to this news. Now you can see on the screen, and you can answer the question that is given, right? Next news is related to Automotive Mission Plan 2047, right? So it came from the PIB. Let's try to see what is it all about. So basically, Ministry of Heavy Industries has initiated Automotive Mission Plan 2047. which is a strategic roadmap aligned with the Viksit Bharat 24/7 vision to advance India's automotive sector. We know the automobile sector of the India is very capable, very advanced, and it is basically quite export oriented sector as well. So the Ministry of Heavy Industry accordingly is planning to work in this direction only, right? So what is AMP? That is the Automotive Mission Plan 2047. It's a strategic roadmap launched by the Ministry of Heavy Industries. It aligns with the Viksit Bharat plan, right? What are the objectives of AMP? So to establish India as a global leader in the automotive sector by 2047, to increase India's share in global automotive trade, that is the next target, to foster innovation, sustainability and quality in the Indian automotive industry. Next is to strengthen India's position through concrete targets for sector growth and exports, right? Now, what are the various stakeholders involved in this mission? So, there is the central ministries, there is industry bodies like SIAM, ACMA, and as well as academia and research think tank is there. So, there is a beautiful integration of academia with the ministry, right? So, it's a very good signal as well, and there are testing agencies and OEM, that is the original equipment manufacturers involved with it, right? So, what are the key focus area of this mission? So, there is a technological advance like integration of AI in the vehicles etc. Second is the development of charging infrastructures like charging ports at various places. Next is the ensuring sustainability and self-reliance and addressing policy and regulatory framework. These are the key focus area. What is the broader vision of this area, this AMP? So, AMP is not just a sectoral roadmap, but a national vision to uplift India's industrial ecosystem. So, ecosystem will have to uplift and to transform our automotive sector for the sustainability, economic growth and global integration, right? These are the various aspect of this thing, right? You can go through the rest of the issue that is not that important for the UPSC prelims or main purposes. Now, let us try to scan through the question that is given in the screen, right? Next news is related to Urja Vrat 2025. I will give you a background what happened recently. US, basically US or NATO tried to basically threaten India with the sanction if we are continuing import from the Russia, that is oil import from the Asia, which is basically hypocrisy as well, because we have seen the most of the Europe basically is dependent on the Russian oil import, or even the Western countries like Turkey, which is part of the NATO, is also one of the most importing country, oil importing country from the Russia. Still, NATO country, which is basically one of the America is one of the key plank, is threatening India with the sanctions. Now, let us try to see what is we are doing. So, basically this Urja Vrat conclave was conducted in this backdrop only. And if you want to go deeper into what India is doing, you need to watch the interview of Sri Hardeep Puri with the Palki Sharma. It's a very well articulated interview. You should be going, and based on this thing as well, this news came on the Urja Vrat, right? So, which was participated by over 700 participants, in which we have focused on the collaborative, innovative and synergetic approach to deal with the basic India's energy needs, right? Then there was major launches like revised petroleum and natural gas rules was there, right? And model revenue sharing contract was also launched in this same conclave, right? Also, it led with the commencement of the hydrocarbon resource assessment studies using global benchmark methodology to better estimate India's resource base. It also released the India Hydrocarbon Outlook 2024-2025, which is the 32nd edition of the DGS flagship report, right? There is a Director General of Hydrocarbon, right? Other reforms which was basically done, which was basically elaborated by the minister, that we have done reform in terms of the Oil Field Regulation and Development Act (ORDA) with the co-designed approach, single lease and approval mechanism, as well as the transparent operational rules, right? These are the various aspects of this basically reform. Other things are progress in recent year which was done, that is the policy has been ensured that opening of nearly 1 million square kilometers of previously inaccessible no go areas to explore the oil, right? And that's why we are exploring our potential for the oil exploration as well. So, what is more important that we should be able to understand what is India's energy basket and how diversified is this energy basket. So, you will have to understand that we are largely dependent on the coal. in one of the UPSC, they asked that why there is so much dependency on the coal for the energy purposes in India. Second is the oil, right? Third is the renewable. Fourth is the gas. Next is the hydro, and least is the nuclear. And data is based on the 2023-2024 available data from the Niti Aayog, right? Not only that, we will have to also understand countries from where India is importing the oils. So, it is the Russia as per the latest data available, and it is available for the December 2024. We are importing most of the oils from the Russia, that is of 36% of the chunk. Next comes the Iraq, 21%. Next comes the Saudi Arabia, then UAE, then USA, then rest of the world. So, basically we are quite dependent on the Russia. If USA or NATO is threatening the sanctions, it will impact our energy basket badly, or energy dependency of India on Russia is quite high. So, somehow we will have to manage the alternative resource, and that is the center plank of the overall discussion, that we should be able to divert our import from the Russia to other countries, or we should be exercising our basically strategic autonomy in this direction, and we should continue buying the oil from the Russia. That is our move. Now, let us try to solve this question that is given in the screen, right. In the explain section, we will discuss NASA, Axiom, ISRO tie-up, which came into the today's newspaper in the editorial section. So, that is backdrop lies in the return of Indian astronaut group captain Subhanshu Shukla from the International Space Station, that is the ISS, and it will come into the GS paper 3 Science and Technology / the space sector. So, we know that Subhanshu Shukla already returned to the Earth on the July 15, 2025 after completing Axiom 4 mission, and he spent nearly 18 days in the ISS, that is the International Space Station, and he orbited Earth for the 288 times. These are trivial fact you should be knowing, and he covered around 10 scientific experiment while he was in the International Space Station, right. He is the second person after Rakesh Sharma to basically visit the space, and after nearly 41 years we have basically sent someone to the space again, right. And next is about the Axiom 4 mission. So, let us try to understand what is Axiom 4 mission. So, Axiom 4 mission or X4 marks the 4th private astronaut flight to the International Space Station, coordinated by Axiom Space in partnership with the NASA, SpaceX and the ISRO, right. What are the various mission aspect of the Axiom 4? So, it was launched by the Axiom Space on June 26 using Falcon 9 rocket, right. Travel time was nearly of 28 hours. Mission type was all private astronaut mission to the ISS, right, International Space Station. Crew from India, Poland, Hungary and USA nearly spent 28 days. We can see the crews from the different countries who are attached with the International Space Station. So, what is International Space Station? So, International Space Station or ISS was launched on 20th of November 1988 from Kazakhstan, which is supposed to operate till 2030, right, and it orbits around the LEO orbit, low Earth orbit of the Earth, with the average altitude of 400 kilometers and circles the globe every 93 minutes. It weighs around 450 ton, right. And agencies which are actively involved in the International Space Station are USA's NASA, Europe's ESA, Japan's JAXA, Canada's CSA and Russia's Roscosmos, right. What are the components of it? Station is divided into two sections, the Russian section and the United sections, and it serves as a microgravity and space environmental research laboratory, and India also did microgravity experiment in the International Space Station, and more than 3000 experiment has been so far conducted in the International Space Station. Now, India plans to have their own space station by 2035, right, 2035, nearly 10 years in the downtime, right. And notable success of International Space Station lies in the advancement in osteoporosis treatment and understanding muscle atrophy, that is the attrition of the muscle, right. Plus the research on the dark matter. These are the various achievement of the International Space Station. Now, let us try to understand what is the mission objective of the Axiom 4 mission, right. It is very important. To promote commercial space activities was one of the important aspect. Second is to foster international collaboration Basically, it includes multinational crew. That's why it will foster the collaboration from the different countries. Next is the advancing space research. Basically, it conduct scientific experiment in microgravity in the field of like biology, material science, and Earth observation. Now, let us try to understand key highlight of the Axiom 4 mission. So, we have the diverse crew in this mission, as well as it lasted around 14 days in the International Space Station, right. Also, it will lead path to the private space station in the future. What was the experiment conducted by Shubhanshu Shukla in this ISS, that is International Space Station? So, first is the seed germination in microgravity, which involved green gram and fungus Greeks. Goal was to study early plant development under microgravity, and it was led by US Dharwad and IIT Dharwad scientists, right. And seed to be grown for multiple generations on Earth to assess genetic changes, microbial ecosystem shift, and nutritional profile variation. Second was microalgae development, which investigate microalgae for the space-based food, oxygen, and biofuel production, which was ideal for the long duration mission due to their resilience. What are the microalgae? So, they are single-celled photosynthetic organisms that convert sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into biomass, oxygen, and useful nutrient. Next experiment was crop seed imaging. A 6 crop variety observed for the multi-generational growth post mission, and aim was to identify trait suitable for the space framing and genetic enlargement. Next was stem cell research. So, it explored whether supplements can accelerate healing, growth, or repair in the microgravity. Next was potential implication for the regenerative medicine in the space. What is the significance of it? Advanced India's space life science research supports development for sustainable life support system for the future space mission and open doors for agri-biotech innovation in extraterrestrial conditions, right. Now, what is the significance for the Axiom 4 mission for India? So, first is the scientific advancement, because it studies DNA repair and stress tolerance to the stress. Next is the tardigrades, which is also known as the water bears or Mosses piglet, which are microscopic water dwelling animals known for their extreme survival capability. You can see in the scheme these are the tardigrades, right. They are found in the mosses, lichen, soil, freshwater, and marine environments, right. You can see it, and they can survive extreme temperature like minus 270 to 150 C degree temperature, and they can tolerate the high radiation level as well. Very resilient kind of the organism they are, right. Also, they did the plant growth experiment in the International Space Station. Not only that, this mission will provide support to the future Gaganyaan missions, right, which will be operation by the 2027 as if things go in the right direction. Also, it will help us to boost the space diplomacy with the NASA or the other agencies like ZAZA or for the European space agencies, right, or for that matter Roscosmos, that is the Russia's space agency, right. Also, it will lead to the exposure of advanced technology like AI based navigation, autonomous docking, and biocapsule systems. Like also, it will support for the sports sector reform. For example, in space is there, we have the space policy 2025, we are doing experiment on the life sciences and robotics, which will help us to understand a few things, right, these things. Now, what is the way ahead for the India after Axiom 4 missions? So, it can accelerate Gaganyaan's preparation things, it can expand astronaut training in the future, right. It will also boost public engagement and outreach in the future, because now new generation will be quite interested in the space and exploring the space. So, it will lead to develop such kind of thing. It will also help us to invest in the long term capabilities like India's own space station, space medicine, habitability, and life support technology. Also, it will encourage private sector participation in the space exploration activities. Not only that, it will promote space as a strategic and soft power, because we will be capable to launch the other countries' vehicles in coming time. It will be very useful for India's diplomatic outreach as well in soft terms, right. So, in conclusion, India's participation in Axiom 4 mission is a transformational step towards realizing its human space flight ambitions. It bridges technological gaps, sharpens astronaut training, boosts scientific research, and ignites public imagination. All of are crucial for the success of Gaganyaan and future space program. That is all Now let us try to solve the question that is given in the screen. Question says India's participation in Axiom 4 mission marks a strategic leap in its human spaceflight program. In this light, critically examine how this collaboration strengthened the Gaganyaan mission and outline the way forward for India's human space exploration. You have to write in 250 words. That is for all for the today's DNA. Thank you.